Well, I thought I had this planned out right. I guess I didn't think that one through, did I? Oh, well, hmm, not either. Thought I had a place to hang the phone. Not really. Not unless I want to be way away from it. Good enough, huh? Right, yes. Copy the clipboard. Copied. Exit. Post comment. Go down. Paste. Bingo. Yes, I got it. Well, it's been a rather long couple of days. We've had a few good size, good decent runs, and I was asked not to mention it, not give any recognition of it or anything, but we were gifted enough to get uh, some kills to get started on that. The 10 is going up on the roof. As a matter of fact, they're running the runners on it now. Um, yeah, everything's starting to run a little more smoothly. I've been running fire out of this cab, making making the money to trying to straighten grandma's bills out. Just paid the electric and what was the other? Anyway, yeah. So it's starting to it's starting to turn around. Grandma's feeling a little better. The last doctor visit that we sent her on, um, literally, uh, the literally was completely. It changed everything completely. I mean, the doctor figured out that uh, with her COPD, um, it had to open up the waves. She wasn't getting enough oxygen. And we were able to do it with a spray of some kind of albuterol stuff. I'm saying albuterol because that's the only thing I know that does that. I'm not sure that that's what it was, but anyway, she's got this canister that she has to puff on um, several times a day, and it's really livened her up quite a bit, which is a really good thing. Although you know, although the lot more lively she gets, the more cantankerous she gets. So yeah, it's fun. Gotta love her. Um, let's see. Um, the people that we kicked out of the middle house left their kids behind. The teenagers. I mean, they're not teenagers. They're grown adults. You know, left them behind. They took off to Mississippi. Well, these boys, young young men, whatever you want to call them, that has stayed behind, has decided to resume rent, and they are doing really good. They're staying on top of their game, and they're cleaning everything up and everything. So that's working out good. We start cleaning out our trailer Monday. Is when we start cleaning it out because that guy's finally out of there. I'll let him move into them because he's been working for a couple of days a week with me here, and he's a pretty good worker as long as you can keep him there. If you turn your back, he won't off. And that's kind of hard to do when I have to drop everything and run for a cab run every half hour to an hour or whatever. Good Lord. Another one? Wow. We put the trailer up for on notification for rent before we knew that uh before we knew that the boys were gonna stay there. And so we hadn't quite figured out how to take it off in the market for rent. And we are getting like back to back calls all day and night. They messaging left and right and everything. I have a couple other tenants that I think they're gonna get caught up. I don't know. They're hard to deal with people, so but it's all going better. What happened to your rent? I don't know. I haven't messed with anybody in the wrenches. I haven't blocked anybody except for Charles. I blocked him once. Maybe two different accounts. I don't know. Maybe more. I don't know. I'm always blocking them and unblocking them. But anyway, I haven't messed with any of the mods, I don't think. And I can't see on StreamYards, I can't see who's a mod and who's not. So I really don't have any idea. But I don't know if I can change that. Maybe. No, I can only put in timeout and I can put timeout. So, maybe if Sean pops in, I don't know. He's probably not today. What is today? Today's Saturday. Oh yeah, he won't be in school. He might pop in. If he pops in, he's able to get into the settings and change things. The YouTuber is only as good as the people that are backing him. It's he's the only one. He's the one that messes with the mods and changes things around. So I don't think he's done that in a long time. Although with this phone, I can do more stuff than I can do with the other phone. I don't really like the setup layout, the layout layout. Yeah, well, basketball. Um, let's see. What other topics? Hmm. It's going to be a little bit longer before I make a trip back up to Tennessee. It's going to take a while longer before I can do that. And considering the circumstances of what I ran into here and just how bad Grandma's health has become, and um, she has not driven this car since the day I come here. No, I take that back. 2 or 3 days after I got here, she took it one morning over a block down the road to McDonald's to get coffee. Other than that, she has not driven this car since. And this is her. I don't even know what year this thing is, but it's a nice one. I know it's one of the Equinoxes. I think pretty cool. This one's been I don't know. It's rough, but it's a cab. It's not going to look real pretty. Uh, I got a vehicle, a car given to me, not given to me, but they couldn't move it. Um, they weren't going to pay anybody to tow it. It had to be moved, instead of taking it to the scrapyard, like I had originally planned on, I looked at it and I thought it was pretty nice car there, and I worked out a deal with the lady, and she gave me a title and all to it. So I just got to get the motor fixed. I don't know whether it's going to take a whole motor though. I honestly believe that it's going to be able to be fixed um, with something simple. It's going to be something simple because the guy said he blew the head gasket, but I charged the battery up and I rolled it over. I'm not a mechanic, so I mean I may be way off. What little bit I know about mechanics, I know that if it has no compression, that there's nothing to hold the motor back, so it can start like a weed eater or something. But that car sounds normal. It sounds like it's got plenty of compression, so it's got to be something simple. Yep. Hello, hello. Hey, how are you doing? All right. Okay. To where? All right. It'll be just a little bit. All right. Thank you. Tell them it's going to be a minute. Hey, never mind. Come on, come on. Anyway, uh, I was kind of just take me a minute to get over there. All right. Anyway, I was reading that long message. What was it? Slaps. We're doing great. What Keith from Slaps? I don't. I'm. Do you have a nickname that we would know you by? Roger Gaines. Hey, buddy. How are you? Uh, uh, anyway, so yeah, everything's starting to work its way out a little bit. Grandma, with her being diabetic, she's got to be real careful with her feet. So I made her treat herself to a I don't know what you call that thing, a foot spa. I don't know. You go up there and they put you in a massage chair and put your feet in this little thing. And, yeah, so she went to go and do that. Turtles and stuff trimmed. Oh, got to do something nice up down there. Do I need help on my land? Um, I don't want. We could do something out there, but right now I don't know what to do with it because uh, I don't know how long I'm gonna be down there, and it looks like it's gonna be a little more lengthy than what I thought. Stay here is gonna be a little more lengthy than what I thought it was gonna be. So I don't know. I'm not giving up that land at all. So that's out of the question. But I might decide to rent it out or something for a while to help payments. Payments aren't bad. Payments are only $150 a month. So I've got enough. I've got enough gathered up to send this month's payment in. I still got to pay last month's payment. Month behind. Well, actually, as of the 20th of 2 months, I've got one going in for probably Monday, I think. So, the Thanksgiving turkey. I did what? Decapitated. 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 Um, no, I did not do that in the kitchen. No, I did that out back. Um, yeah. Now there's an experience, guys. You ever get a chance, raise your own turkey, a little bitty one, and raise it up, and then slaughter it for Thanksgiving. Talk about put Thanksgiving to a whole different perspective. You know, when you reenact some of the things that the Bible has talked about, talked good about actually. I mean, it's talked a lot about the sacrifices, like the and what things that God gives life to are there to provide for us. It puts a whole different perspective to things, and it's really hard when you have to do it yourself. It's difficult. It's difficult. I mean, it wasn't hard to do it. We already knew what we were doing. I've done it. I've done it with chickens. Since I've never did it with turkey. Um, it's interesting. I mean, the plucking of the feathers. Oh my goodness! You got to consider this is a creature that you hand raise. You're, you've already cut his head off, drained his blood, and now you're pulling feathers out backwards, just yanking his, dumping it in hot water, and then pulling the feathers as much as you can get. What an experience! Yes, that is true. You won't have a better turkey than you do one that you raised yourself. I mean, it's just you know what's in it. You know, yeah. What work am I doing these days? Jenkins. I know some Jenkins. Um, what work am I doing? I'm driving a cab for my grandmother. Work too. Yeah, it does. It does. But when you're when you pray and meditate about what you're doing and just get after it and learn whatever it is that God's wanting to teach you in that situation, it's the work is well worth it. That has got to be the best turkey I have ever had. Selena had a little bit of issues with it. She couldn't, but she fed that turkey more than I did. So of course she would have a little bit more attachment than I did. But I had tamed that turkey down. That turkey trusted me, and that's something else. There is a downside to it. It's a hard thing to do because you are betraying the trust of that turkey, and I don't know, it's your food. It's not nothing to fret about, but at the same time, all of that stuff goes through your mind. You know, It literally, yeah, all of that, uh, all the times you down goofing around and uh, uh, the reason why they're calmed down every time you walk into the cage and petting them, all of that stuff just kind of it resonates in your head and it just yeah. So it is a difficult task. It's a difficult task. So you understand what it meant um, to sacrifice something. Friends, weather, freedom, etc. Uh, oh yeah, I still miss it. I think I the life out there at Slab City was remarkable, and it there was so much that happened. I, I will be forever impacted by. There's memories of that place that are just that will stay with me. Hopefully, stay with me forever. I hope I never forget them because some of the memories are such a blessing. Um, the freedom, like you're talking about, the freedom and the people and the shunning away of what people take for granted. Like most everybody has a TV in their house and they sit down and watch TV and they'll spend hours upon hours a day watching nonsense. And the only reason why we see it that way is because we've been somewhere where there wasn't really any TV. TV was kind of like the old days when going and watch a picture show was just it was a night out that happened once a week, once a month, or whatever else. You go into one show and half the time it wasn't nothing like what it is now. And that simple freedom that is there and the things that you do without for that and the experience is just phenomenal. It's a great experience. Although the place did turn really, really dark, there's a lot of people that just kind of went off the deep end out there. And it means a great deal, actually. Yeah, like trying to explain a bargain means a great deal, actually. I like that one. I'm gonna have to use that. Yeah, keep them coming. I love those short jokative phrases like that because they come really in handy with the cab service because I mean you get all kind of personalities jumping a cab and and if you can make them smile then you may have lightened up their day. That's one thing I love about cabs. I know my conversation is just going off the deep end today, ain't it? Sitting outside the spa waiting on grandma. She didn't really want to go. She's like, "Oh man, I don't get it." I was like, "Grandma, you need to. Your feet are getting bad. They need to be babied a little bit. It's okay. We've been busting our butt for the last because she's been riding with me, telling me which roads to go on and everything, and where to go and stuff because I can see better and I've got more uh, the ability to drive for a long time. She's gotten to where she can't drive for a long time, and that's why the business has went down to about nothing because she hasn't had anybody that would drive for her. Since I've been here, like I said, she's jumped in the cab one time, and that was to go and get herself some coffee in the morning because I wasn't up. I wasn't up when she was, Wolfie gets up like 5 o'clock in the morning. I had to set an alarm. Holy crap. Bubba's got a job. He's he's working with a guy moving trailers. This boy is slinging bricks all day long. Yeah, yeah, he's making good money at it, so that's good. They go to jail for harassing bicycles. So yeah, you don't see. Jeez, almighty. Anyway, so, Cousin City, so, definitely, definitely. It's a shame it's turned out that way. And I still, to this day, kick myself in the butt because, and this ain't assuming. I know for a fact I'm the one that brought him to YouTube. And there is proven fact because I still have the video up where I went visiting him and he got interested in YouTube. Man, I still kick myself in the tail end for that. That boy is dark, dark, mean. I ain't gonna talk. Anyway, yeah, they literally, literally called my job when I up there in Tennessee. Called my job, somebody, and I'm almost willing to bet it was him. They called my job, found out where my job was, called my job, called in sick for me on a day that, for one, I was off work, and for two, I wasn't even working that shift anymore. I started working night shift. So that was interesting. Pieces of Milton. Yeah. Ugh. Anyway, wow. No, I'm not saying Sam called my work, Willow. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I would not doubt it seriously because that has been the only person I could think of that would do something like that. Now, I'm not trying to accuse somebody of something they didn't do, but I'm still suspicious of that because I don't know. I just figured he'd probably be the one that done that. So don't mark my words. He might not have been, but considering everything that he's been doing to everybody else, I kind of thought maybe. But somebody literally called my job and called in sick for me on my day off. And as soon as my store manager come to me and started telling me that, I couldn't help but think of Friday, the movie Friday. You got fired on your day off. It cracked me up because I'm like, are you serious? Well, I actually did that, huh? Okay. I ain't got no enemies local there, so it wouldn't have been that. But how anybody found, I don't know. I guess you can find out where I lived. It ain't hard to figure out what grocery store has a deli in it, you know, in that area. There ain't but two grocery stores that had a deli in that area. One was a um, Cash Saver, and the other one was a Piggly Wiggly. And obviously, uh, I was with the Piggly Wiggly. Yeah, they seriously, they called up there. I might name. trolls have gotten out of hand. They've gotten just mean as could be, and really don't care anything about anybody's feelings or anything. You asked me what, you might have to ask me again because I haven't been watching the chat the whole time. I might have to plug this in. I gotta turn the stupid car on, don't I? Dadgummit. I don't want to stay on without the car running. I want the car running. Maybe I'll just stay on for a little. I'm not passing my seatbelt. I'm not going anywhere. It'll be going to the gas station. Okay, maybe the whole time the radio's on. Do that. See, he's he is literally his own worst enemy. I don't know. I guess sometimes you just have enough of stuff. Sometimes that's what happens. People get picked on and prodded and poked at and everything else so many times where they finally just snap and have enough of it. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I know I finally had enough of it, and I've gotten to where it's like, you know what? I don't really give a rat's butt what anybody thinks about me. I'm gonna be me, and I'm not gonna change for anybody else. So I don't care if they like me or not. Anybody for that matter. This is what it is. There's people on YouTube I don't like. I'm sure there's people that don't like me, and nothing we can do about it. Only advice I can give that person is you do know that there is an unsubscribe button. Just push it. If you don't like me, just go on somewhere else. I wish some people or some other people would understand that. Hey, there's a waitress from the place I picked up. I started doing DoorDash during during off times, not off times because cab service is never off 24/7. But there's time frames that we really get no calls for like 3, 4, 5 hours at a time. And that's usually when we get to sleep or whatever else. Most of the night, you get one or two runs early in the evening, 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, and then you don't get another run until the next morning. But during the day, sometimes there's gaps of a couple hours and stuff. Uh, I'll log in to uh, the DoorDash and Waiter and stuff like that. I'll log into them and start running food orders. Generates a paycheck at the end of the week. So indicate. Yeah, you can also block people too. Yep, you sure can. And that's the best way to handle it. Just block them or unsubscribe from them or turn the channel off. I've got some that I listen to, and you know, most of the shows that he does, I'm not gonna say the name, but most of the shows that this one guy does is all um recorded shows, and he puts time into them and puts effort into them. I love watching his shows, but when he does live streams, I won't go to. I just it's just I don't know. It's not. It's a whole different community of drama. It's already we listen to the drama in our own community quite a bit. We do it because we've gotten to know the people and gotten to understand the people and built a relationship with the people. You know, we have our group and we watch them and stuff. Then to watch a whole nother community's worth of drama is just too much. It's like, nah, I'm not watching. I'm not listening. No. Not my ride. This grandma's. It's a I don't know 2000 something Chevy Equinox. This thing every time you stop at a red light, the damn motor turns off. It goes over here to auto stop, and then you let off the brake, and the motor starts back up. So you literally have a second pause from the time you lift off the brake to the time you are able to hit the gas to go through the stoplight. You couldn't imagine how many times that screwed me up. And that don't make no sense. That's like it's gonna wear out the starter or something. I mean, they've already killed two batteries with this thing. They because of the stop and go, and we can't get them. We've even took it up to Chevy dealership. They can't turn it off. Like, isn't there a fuse or something? Pull this stupid thing. Get it to stop doing that. Yeah, you can keep that exactly. That's the most retarded thing I've ever seen. If anybody is in the market of a new car, if the thing has that auto off and on with the motor, whatever it's called, if it has that, don't get it. Get away from that. Don't want it. It's such a pain in the butt. Maybe if it was for long trips and stuff like that, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. But for stop and go like a taxi cab, every time you stop, when you let off the brake, the car starts itself back up, and then it jumps. When it starts back up, if you don't have your foot at least partially on the brake, it's going to kind of bounce forward a little bit. So if you're just trying to inch up in a line of traffic, when it restarts, it'll boost you, and you'll come real close to hitting the car in front of you. So computerized one. Yeah, I wouldn't either. I gotta. Well, the car that I got at home, I gotta get fixed is a Nissan. I forgot the name. I don't know. Cruise or something. I don't know. It's a compact car. It's a little bitty thing. It's got four doors. I don't know if anybody's seen the video when I showed it. Maybe you don't know what it is, but it's some kind of Nissan something. Um, but it doesn't have that automatic start and go. So it's just basic. That I'm okay with. Told grandma, I was like, yeah, we get that car fixed. You can have that car. Yours. I don't want to mess with it no more. Where are you shopping? I'm not shopping. Grandma's at the uh, nail spa or nail salon or whatever you call that. She goes and soaks her feet. I got to get her one of those little tank things that like, sit there by her chair that she sits in, and you can put her feet in there and soak them in Epsom salt and stuff. You know, the doctor said make sure to take good care of her feet. The doctor or told us when she went up there that it wouldn't hurt to go and have her feet. So far, this place is the cheapest in town. Talked her into doing this because she needs the nails and everything else. And of course, she's tender footed, so she's real itchy about us getting anywhere close to her toenails and stuff. Not that I wouldn't do it myself, but she's a little itchy about that. So anyway, oh, we're in the process of getting everything done. The tin is starting to go up on the roof. So now I've got it sectioned off where I can finally start yanking the ceiling out of that back bedroom. In June, sure. Yeah, I'm coming back. Of course, I just think I'm gonna be here a little longer than what I thought. So, yep, it'll be a little while. Yesterday, Grandma was up, got up and around, moving around really good. So that's why we talked her into coming and doing this. Maybe for people, better she'd get up a little bit more, get active, because the more active you are, the better the quality of life you have. Quite frankly, we don't know. We don't know how long any of us have. She needs the best. She needs the best quality she can get for herself. Oh, we got a long out of and they're really good. Yeah, after leaving that. Yeah, yeah, it got really dark. The place really just started getting really dark with the yeah. When we come back out there after we left, we come back out there and even started building another camp. I did twice, and both times it was a bunch of nonsense. I mean, I had the one time we got there and um they literally was threatening to burn us out. They kept walking by the camp, threatening to burn us out. And it got bad there. Didn't like the fact that I was there and I was friends with Mike. You can't be mad at somebody for being friends with somebody that ain't nobody can prove he did anything wrong. And I still to this day don't believe he did anything. I think he lost 2 years of his life in jail for something he didn't do. I still believe that way, and I firmly believe that way, and ain't nobody can talk me into anything different. And I mean, it's just my opinion. I mean, the man's out, he's doing his own thing, and and trust me, I'm not. I mean, if I had any other thoughts, trust me, I would say that because I mean, look now, I was about the only one that was standing up for him. Now I can't get the asshole to call me at all. He don't never talk to me. We don't hardly ever talk. I know what he's doing. He goes once in a great while. Like I said, I've never said anything. Uh, I've always said from the get go that and a complete asshole, yes, he is. But a child molester, no, he wasn't. He didn't do that. But they didn't like me because of that. They didn't like me because of the camp, because of and they were the ones that they waited until we went out of town for a little while, and I left somebody in charge of it. They waited until then to come in and take over the camp, take all the stuff, and yeah, it was just. I even went back and tried to went back once with my pops. We went out there with a food trailer. We were going to set up and feed everybody out there a few times. We had everything set up, fixing to do it. Y'all seen it. There was videos of it. The reason why we left, we didn't do a video on that one. The reason why we left was because warned they warned pops that we were going to get burned out if we even attempted. And it was like, you know what? Y'all don't want no help. Forget it. I wasn't going to try to help them out anymore. That's why I left them here. And I won't go back. I'm sure I won't go back. If I do, wouldn't have anything to do with it. I'd stay to myself. But I ain't got no interest in going back. It was what it was when it was, and we were meant to be there for what we were meant to be there for, and I honestly believe it was for that baptism that happened out there in that canal. Me and Sean are still best friends. We we I mean we talk about it every other day or so. We know, every time he has problems or anything, he calls me. We talk about it. We we've built a heck of a friendship. Friendship that'll never go away. Why do I gotta keep plugging this thing in like that? That ain't working. Hey, that's amazing. Too bad he couldn't use it. Well, he was, but they didn't like what he was doing. They didn't like that he was getting as far as he was getting. He was testing waters that they were scared it was gonna cause them problems. Because if he started pulling water out of the canal and actually had it where it was pumping water through several camps like he was planning on, and then that solar system set up, that was going to supply several camps, it would have becoming, um, where it was more habitable, more livable. And the cities that close by wasn't going to allow that. That was brought up several times, and there was even rumors of them planning people out there to sabotage all of that. And I firmly believe that we had a few of them coming through our camps. In my time, can't anyway, and it was. I think it was all a setup from the word go. I honestly believe so. I wish there was a way I could prove it, but can't prove it. I can only tell you my thoughts. How we get on this topic? I don't know. Carlos Z, how are you? There's a guy that went out there and seen it. He's seen what we were doing. It's working out really good. You notice nobody else tried to do that? You notice nobody else really tried to build a camp like that would have been self-sustained for several people, big families and everything. Anyway, you ever notice that nobody else has really attempted that, not on that scale? If they are, they're just, they're because right before all of that happened, when we had lived there almost all year, suddenly the cops come out of nowhere and are inspecting our little our area that where we go in and out of the canal. Suddenly that happened. That happened right before too, because I got told that we weren't allowed to go in the canal at all. So the little porch thingy that we had to stand in there, not the porch thing, but the pallet out there, and that had to go right in, and they were very aggressive about it. You know, uh, that happened a few days before, within a week, I believe. There was several. Anyway, anyway, yeah, that's experiences that will stay with me for a lifetime, but at the same time, I really don't have any interest in going back out. I'm fine. I got my little piece of property up in Tennessee. I have my 2 acres down here with a trailer on it. Um, and with that place. It's water, I know water boy. There you go. Yeah, the water boy guy on the slab is a pretty cool character. I mean, that's the kind of people you meet up with. At first you kind of, you're kind of leery and stuff, but once you get to know them, you find out that a lot of them are just really cool people. They're really cool, down to earth people. And I don't know, that brings both the good and the bad out of people. So, so, yeah, no, I was never concerned about being around Mike at all. And our young daughter that is like 2 years younger than Bubba was there also. We weren't a bit of worried about that. Nothing's ever happened. I mean, why would nothing happen with them, but suddenly they happen with these two kids over there? And then that stuff did not go down like everybody thinks. That did not happen. That was a setup for building a bunker. If you ever get traveling around, come down southern Louisiana and holler at me. Yeah, I'll show you some of the sites out here. This is my old stomping ground. I used to live down here for a good little while. I went to high school at I can't tell you that, but I went to I almost told you what high school I went to here. But it's literally I don't know, 3 or 4 miles away from where I'm living. And I'm kind of expecting to run into a few people I went to school with, although I haven't ran into any that I've noticed yet. So yeah, he did get hit in the head with a pole, didn't he? Telephone pole. Everybody's had bad luck with telephone poles or light poles, or whatever. Matter of fact, I'm fixing to have a heck of a little tour with him. My light pole, my trailer that's in the back of the place. My light post that last storm snapped it. snapped in half. I thought I was gonna have to buy a new light bulb. So there's a light bulb that goes to that fireworks trailer that was never put in the ground, and it's perfect size. If not, it may actually be bigger than what I need. So fresh, video cooking. Yeah, you know, I can do that. I almost did a video on the shrimp po' boy the other day. Show y'all what a real shrimp po' boy looks like. And they cheap down here. Oh my goodness, it's cheaper to go out and eat Cajun seafood and stuff. It's cheaper to go out and eat that than it is to buy groceries and cook at the house. It just about is. It's really, I mean, yeah, right. But anyway, there's a telephone pole or light pole there, so I just gotta put it in the ground and switch everything over, the panel, the weatherhead, the everything. Only problem is I gotta get them to come and turn the electric off to it because the pole is on the ground. The electric wire and all is still live. Um, Ryan, the kid in the back there, he'd grab a hold of that pole. He was like, he'd come off of there. He said, that's got power. He just had that look in his eyes were like that big. He's like, yep, that's got power. And he was touching the wood part of the pole. Hold on. Okay. It's an interesting phone call. All kind of weird calls. Mm, like Green Bicycles is going to go see Dog Lips. That whole scenario there is weird. I've only caught bits and pieces of it. Something about Sam had set Dog Lips up with and ended up getting the cops, which Dog Lips acted crazy and got beat up by the cops. I have no earthly idea if I got the story even remotely straight. I have no idea, but uh, I don't understand what's going on with everybody. It's just insane, you know. Uh, yeah, y'all keep badgering and trying to uh, trying to hurt each other nonstop like that. And that's just not good. Insane. Everybody's got to hate on somebody. You know, I don't understand. Why is it so difficult? The one thing that we're charged to do, God Himself, is to love everyone around us. Why is that so difficult? And I know because I mean I have trouble I have trouble with the same thing myself. People that just work my nerves, and it's like, man, I just you know, and it's wrong to think that way. So I have to admit I fall short there myself. But holy crap, does the hatred have to be that bad? I mean, it is nonstop. I mean, if somebody isn't hating on somebody, then something ain't right, and that's what it's come to. Just leave people alone. Let people live their own lives, and just do your own thing. Stop hating. But it's not as easy as you think. Do I ever think I'll go back to Styles and reunite and say sorry? Um, I honestly I don't know of anything that I have to feel sorry for or to be sorry for. I mean, I did nothing but try to help people, and I got the raw end of the stick. I don't feel that I owe anybody. I mean, if I do, maybe it might come up, and maybe I'll feel convicted of it. But until then, I really have not. I don't have not one memory of anything that I've done drastically bad to anybody that deserves for me to go and apologize to them or to ask for forgiveness for it, because I haven't. I was done far worse than I did anyone else. That's for sure. Know that for a fact. But yeah, I don't honestly feel like I owe anybody there an apology. I don't I don't honestly believe I did anybody wrong. And if I have, I wish they would get a hold of me and let me know. Because, if I've done anybody wrong and I do need to ask for forgiveness for something, then I I have no problem with doing it. That is a part of life. Sometimes we're in the wrong and sometimes we don't know it. And we need to take a step back and say, you know what? You're right. Sorry. And I'm that man. I will do that. But until somebody confronts me and says, "Hey, you did this," and I remember doing that, being and that it was wrong, and I know it was wrong. Until that happens, I honestly I cannot recollect any one thing or anything whatsoever that I that I would need to apologize for. I mean, nothing. I haven't. I never did anything to anybody. No, I didn't try doing people wrong, and I treated people with kindness, with respect, a lot more than I got in return. I mean, look, I gave Lewis a place to live. Not only that, but I protected him when he went screwing around on uh, um, a buddy of mine's old lady. That's how he ended up with that one. While he was in there scared to death that Daniel was going to beat his ass or hurt him or kill him or whatever else. Protect him through that, even though he was in the wrong, and yet I still got shit on literally. You may as well say, I mean, figuratively speaking, nobody's actually pulled their pants down and shit on me. If they would have, I'm pretty sure that that would have not ended out well for them. But you know, um, Bray, the guy next door, I kept on doing everything I could for him, you know, and he was one of the main ones that had something to do with taking over the camp, you know. Um, and you know, it's you know, I didn't do anything but try to help people and give people a place to live, give people peace, sequility, whatever you call it, peace and peace of mind. You know, you got out there and we had a Christian based camp. It wasn't like a church or anything, you know. And I mean, they were still able to do what they do or whatever. They just weren't able to do. They weren't pushed pushed with the drugs or anything else while they were there because they didn't allow that in camp. And I fought to keep that away from the camp. And you know, and people coming out there causing problems that wasn't gonna be allowed. Everybody respected me. They knew I wouldn't allow that there. They could go down the road and fight feud all they wanted to, but they weren't allowed to do that there. You know, I mean, a lot of people did a lot of messed up things, and I still let them stay there, and I still took them back in when they needed a place to go to. You know, Flux come out there and lived over there when he couldn't get along with Mike over there. He ended up taking, he ended up over there, and he stayed for quite a while. And um, and that one got remedied. You know, there was a lot of foul feelings that happened and stuff over some stuff over that. But me and him sat down and talked man to man, and we've been fine ever since. Um, so it wasn't all bad, but there was a lot of it that was terrible. It was just the I mean, we literally had murderers come into the camp, and they had so much respect that we never, ever, ever felt threatened or in danger in any which way whatsoever. Even when we found out that they were murderers, we still had absolutely, absolutely no fear whatsoever because they didn't give us a reason to. We never gave them a reason. I guarantee you could get a hold of them boys now, even though they're in prison. I guarantee you could get a hold of them now, and they would say that they, you know, it, it was fine when they were there. And yeah, I don't have any reason whatsoever. Uh, the the shotgun you was arrested for making threats, false or rumors, taking Shepherd's Tree name from founder of Sun City Tree. Is this all false? That minor charge change the guidance? Please explain. For one, I've never been charged with any deal with a shotgun or anything else. If I was, I wouldn't be allowed to own a gun now. I don't have it on me right now. I normally do. And for two, I've never heard of Slab City Treehouse. Never. Shepherd's Treehouse literally came from a kid's book in the middle of our camp. I have no idea anything about any of that. Therefore, as far as I know, all of that is completely fiction and made up. I know for a fact that there was never anything done with a shotgun of any sort. The only gun that was ever out there was a pistol. It wasn't a gun, and it wasn't in my care at that time. The only time I ever got or had a gun put in my care was the one that I had bought the third time I was out there, or that I had done some dealing with, or whatever else, which was never ever brought out. Nobody ever knew I had it. So That is completely false. No matter what you'd heard, that is completely false. This Slab House Treehouse, or the Slab Treehouse, or Slab City Treehouse, whatever, I've never heard of that. I have no idea what you're talking about. And if there was a Slab City Treehouse, I did not do Shepherd Treehouse to take from anybody. I did not do that to take away from anybody. So if there ever was a Slab City Treehouse, I'm sorry if that affected you. I don't know anything about it, and I was never told anything about it. So yeah, I would say that that would all be false. That is, I don't even know where all of that's come from. Shepherd, Shepherd's Treehouse spelling mistake. The Shepherd's Treehouse spelling mistake uh, was a mistake when I was setting up YouTube with the when I when I made a email account and stuff, because instead of Shepherd's Treehouse with an S, I made it Shepherd Treehouse. I had to turn around and make it that way because the Shepherd's Treehouse, I did it, lost the code to it, and got locked out of it within the first couple of days. So I never went back and altered it. There's no trees in Cyber City. Only shrubs and yeah. There's the only trees that are even close to Cyber City is out now, and there wasn't anything out there. There was Mike's camp. There was my camp. There was what the Wolfpack, and then there was the castle. Then there was Love and Light, which turned into something else. I don't remember what it turned into when that lady left. She left and went to Hawaii, I think. And then and then there was another camp further down, and then back off a little bit. There was the Domino and Scrappy, and I don't know what they ever called their camp or if they even named it. But there was never any treehouse. No treehouse except for Shepherd's Treehouse. That was the only one that was ever uh, that I know about. The only one that I've ever heard. So all that information is. I just realized it's raining here. That means they're getting wet on that roof trying to nail tin down. Oh no! And I'm stuck here waiting in the parking lot. Ah! Anyway, I know Ryan. That's the first thing he'll do. He'll come off that roof and head straight for the house. Bye bye. Gone. I know he got his work cut out for him because Selena wants to gut out the trailer Monday. It's her first day off. And we have to uh, we have to gut out the trailer so that we can start painting it and everything. Our trailer. Oh, guys, guess what? It's time to go. Grandma's coming out. Love you guys. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Bless. Bye. Over here.